Okay, so okay. This is a nightmare I may not be ready to live through.
I started getting crushes on boys.
Real embarrassed about this.
My mouth gets the best of me pretty much all the time.
Okay, I'm just like, okay. All right.
There we go.
Hi, you are listening to the We Still Like You podcast, select stories from the live show.
Welcome to We Still Like You! Woo, we made it!
I'm Dan Sheehan. My name is Tyler Snodgrass. We are two of the producers and two of the hosts of We Still Like You in Chicago. Chicago's only live storytelling show based off shame, done in apartments, and now a podcast. Yeah, we're covering all of our bases. We're a party, we're a show, we're a podcast, and we thank you for listening.
We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. I want you to know that we're all friends here. Everybody who comes up on the stage doesn't have to tell you the things they're going to tell you, and they're going to tell you it anyway because they feel safe and comfortable with you, and they know that you're not going to judge them. In fact, they are going to trust you to celebrate the fact that they are being vulnerable shithouse people, okay? They're going to tell you some really bad things. We've had everything from, like, people closing down a summer camp to, like, for disabled kids, to, like, just masturbating in the weirdest places and things. Every loss of virginity story you can imagine. Dry humping cousins, we've got it all.
Today's episode is We Still Like Pranks, mostly pranks that go horribly wrong. They're so much better that way. Yeah, we prefer them that way. And that's going to include this first story by Kyle Scanlon. Hope you enjoy.
One of the best writers at the Whiskey Journal. Please welcome good buddy Kyle Scanlon, everyone.
I would like to preface this with I'm going to test if this show is true. If it holds true to its title, we will find out. We will find out. So when I was like 18, I decided that I was going to just go to junior college and then get a sales job, and that was it. I would be done with school. Not a great plan. Obviously didn't work out, and ended up going back to college. But I got, the first job I got selling radio ads, which is not a fun thing to sell when it's not 1970. And, like, it was a tough job. I remember the first day that I walked in, I, like, had all these dress clothes on, and they give you, like, a little sheet of people, and then you walk into a business and you go bother them, and that's your life. I would get really bored, though, because I would just do whatever I can to avoid that job, because I hated bothering people. I still hate bothering people with that shit. And so, like, I would just, like, go home and watch movies, or I would, like, go play basketball instead of, like, doing sales calls. And then, that was costing me money and gas, though, so I was like, well, fuck it. Like, there was this other girl that was one other person my age that worked there. Her name was Lori. And we decided we were going to start prank calling the receptionist, because this is like 2006, before like everyone knew exactly what caller ID was. People had it, but they were like, I don't totally get it yet. Fuck it. So it started like pretty innocent. The receptionist, her name was and she was kind of mean. She was really like buddy-buddy with the manager, who was really mean. And then like, so it was kind of like, well, let's fuck with her a little bit. And she was really dumb. Like, she just wasn't very smart. My favorite thing about her, to give you a little brief window into her, she gained a lot of weight right before her wedding, and she couldn't figure out why. And she goes, I don't know, I've been drinking these mulattes every day. If you remember those. She goes, I've been drinking them every day. They're so good. But I just feel like I'm gaining weight. I've been working out, but I'm still gaining all this weight. And I was like, yeah, a latte has 900 calories in it. You're putting that in your face every day. It's going to make you gain some weight. So she wasn't very smart. And the fact that you guys awed at that makes me scared about this next part. So I've told like 5 people this story. So why not ruin my life now? So me and this girl, Lori, and I sort of have a crush on Lori at this point. I sort of have a crush on her. She's cute. She's older. Like, I'm like, oh, man. I'm going to impress her. Like, start prank calling. And so it starts, because that's how you impress girls when you're 20. You prank call people. So I start prank calling her, and it starts off really innocently. Like, call her, and I'd be like, yeah, someone in this parking lot got the initials on a Dodge Neon. And she'd be like, oh my God, that's me. And I'd be like, we're towing it. And she'd just run outside. And like, so I just kept doing like little things like that. Like I would just like call, like say I was from like a restaurant. And like, she's like, I didn't order any food. And I'm like, we have your number. And like, don't ever come here again. Don't ever come to this Sonic. Because they don't deliver food. She didn't know that. Then she got this tattoo. And she wouldn't shut up about it. It's like a business place where like you're supposed to wear nice clothes and not talk about your tattoos. And she just would never shut up about it. And she got it from this old man. I don't know if anyone's from like central southern Illinois is familiar with like Mattoon, Illinois. Have you ever heard of the guy named Toad that does tattoos there? There's a guy named Toad that does tattoos at a place called Toad's where people make permanent decisions. And she gets a tattoo from this guy, and she's so fucking excited about it. She won't shut up about it. But this guy's like, he's kind of like lost his vision a little bit, and his like store's kind of going shitty and stuff. So I call her, I prank call her, and I put on my best fake voice for her. And I'm like, hello, is available? And she's like, yes, this is me. And I go, this is Jerry from the Mattoon County Hospital. Did you recently get a tattoo at Toad's Tattoo? And there's some silence. And she reluctantly says yes. And I say, listen, now this is nothing for sure yet, but we've found that some of the needles used at his tattoo shop may have been infected with AIDS. At which point I am biting my finger to not laugh. And she goes, are you serious? And I go, we don't know anything for sure, but it's very important that you come in and get tested immediately. And I hang up the phone and I high five Lori and I'm like, oh yeah, shit. Nailed that one. And then all of a sudden I hear a lot of crying. I hear a lot of crying because she is calling her mother to tell her that she has AIDS. Then calls her fiance and tells him that she probably has AIDS. All of this, at this point, I still think I'm just pulled off a really good prank. I don't know if this is going on. And then she pulls, my boss comes out and she's like, what is wrong? What is wrong? She's like, I might have AIDS! And Lori and I are just like, no, this is gonna be good. Let's go check on our prank. Let's go check on our prank. So I send Lori around the corner, and she just comes back just like pale white face. And she goes, you're gonna have to talk to her. And so this girl who just told the 3 closest and most important people in her life that she has AIDS, I have to go up to her and go, hey, that was me. I was just kidding about all that AIDS stuff. Real funny joke, right? Got you good. And it was like out, like we had this little deck out back where everybody would smoke. And then she was just back there just bawling, just crying. I said, I'm sorry. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. That was me on the phone, and she was just real mad because I couldn't get the word. Because there's not a right way to tell someone that they don't have AIDS. She didn't like that. I worked there for a year after that. Stuck around, and I was just the guy that told a girl she had AIDS. And I don't know if you've ever worked with a girl that you told her that she had AIDS, but she brings that up a lot in conversation. She doesn't let you live that down. So forever, anytime I ever did or said anything sort of mean to her or anything at all, she'd be like, yeah, remember the time you told me I had AIDS? I do. I think about it a lot. And that's the story that I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know if you would.
Jesus, okay.
All right, that was Kyle Scanlon. If you want to see more of him in Chicago, he's a cast member over at the Lincoln Lodge, and he runs the hilarious satirical news site, The Whiskey Journal. Definitely check that out. The worst prank I ever pulled was I was a triple agent on April Fool's Day in high school. We bought my friend Brandon all these laxative chocolates. We were going to give him at lunch, and we were going to say they were like from Switzerland or something, and so he was going to eat them. And I, in my head, I'm thinking like, well, what if we accidentally bought enough to kill him? So I tell him, I'm like, hey, dude, these chocolates you're going to get offered, they're going to be laxatives. You're not going to want to eat them. What you're going to want to go ahead and do, though, is pretend you ate them and go home and then start sending out messages about how terrible you feel, and I'll tell people you went to the hospital. And so I'm telling all my friends they went to the hospital, and I'm the prank king, and then all of a sudden, one of my friends must have told their mom or something, who must have told Brandon's mom. Mm-hmm. And so she starts yelling at Brandon, like, you took those laxatives, you gotta go to the hospital right now. And she's ready to take him to the hospital. It's like, no, it was a reverse prank, I actually didn't eat them. And she's like, stop denying it, you took those laxatives.
I know. So, what a weird thing to be accused of. Yeah. I know you took those laxatives.
I know you're pooping so much.
You've reached the We Still Like You voicemail. Leave your story at the beep.
Hi, this is Caitlin from Uptown. I have a story about a prank that went wrong. When I was in high school, there was this kid, Patrick, that I didn't like. I forget why, but it was my birthday party, and he was over at my place with a bunch of my friends. He was bragging about his new car that he had got when he was 16. It was like a brand new Toyota Camry or whatever. But he had left his key in his pocket of his coat unattended in my house. And my dad pulled me aside during the birthday party and was like, hey, do you want to prank Patrick? And he just pulled out Patrick's car keys. And I went outside and opened his car and sped off and took it for a lap around the block and screeched the tires by the house so he would hear and run out into the front yard and be like, where's my car? Ah! And then a few weeks later, we were all over at his house, and he thought that he would steal my car back. He took my keys out of my coat pocket, and I knew what was happening. I knew that he would try to do this. And everyone was like, oh, Patrick disappeared. I think he's going to steal your car, Caitlin. And I was just like, wait. I look out the front window, and he opens my car door and gets in the driver's side door and realizes he doesn't know how to drive stick. And he lives on this really steep hill, so he started the car up, and everybody at the party just kind of watched. and laughed as he just kept stalling the car out again and again. It was just like, and every time he would stall the car out, it was on a hill, so it would like backtrack 3 feet. And he tried this like 5 times, and we were all just laughing. I guess the prank is still on me though, because he crashed it into a telephone pole. So that's my story. All right, I hope you still like me. Bye.
Okay, this next one gets a little crazy. We've got an intro for our next person. So I'm going to bring up a friend of our next performer and producer of the room, all around great boy, Tyler Snodgrass, everybody. He's got some stuff to say.
This next storyteller is an improviser. He's also my best friend. We moved here to Chicago together. He doesn't know the stories he's going to tell yet. I'm going to tell him which stories he has to tell.
We should go ahead and get into Scott's story, I think.
Yeah, this one's a doozy.
Scott is one of my best friends, and he is a real turd.
He has had so many bad ideas in Missouri that he has like reached Paul Bunyan status for like just weird penis moves. All right, so please welcome Scott Kirkner to the stage.
I love him so much, and I hope that you like this story about a prank that's gone horribly wrong.
So there's a lot I could make you talk about. Of course. Like the first time we met when we were 16, you kissed me on the neck. Yes. At the improv theater we used to perform at, you would introduce yourself by stretching your nutsack above your belly button. Yes. Yeah. We've run out of gas in the Outback together. Yes. And you once broke into a dude's car who was your ex's ex, and you guys made out in his truck when he was not aware that you broke into his truck.
Yes, that's true.
Right. So I want you to tell 2 stories that are worse than all of those things. The first of them is that time you got kicked out of high school and had to move to Springfield, Missouri.
Cool. Just to embrace the true shame of what this night is supposed to be about. The stories I'm going to tell you, I guess, have an element of shame in them. But the thing that I'm the most shameful about in my actual life is my physical body. I have large man boobs, so I will be doing all of these stories completely shirtless for you guys.
First time. This is going to be the first stick figure J-Mo's drawn with moobs. So.
You guys remember when you were all like super punk rock? Like when we were teenagers and like we were angry about nothing and our parents were fantastic to us anyways? I did that also. So I was 15 and I really liked the band Against Me a lot. Yeah, one girl who fist pumps at guy with no shirt on. So I was listening to a lot Against Me, and I was like, you know what? I'm like super duper punk rock. Like I'm so punk rock right now. Even I think I'm a poser. This is perfect. So my friends, both of my parents were teachers at the high school that I went to, and which was awful. And my buddies had the choir teacher, and I didn't have choir because my dad was a band director. So I didn't even have this teacher. But they were both really pissed at him and at, the instinctual, I'm punk rock and we're in this together. I devised a plan to blow up his motorboat. So I was like, guys, I got it. This is going to be awesome. The teacher, his name was Mr. Weberg. And he probably sexually abused kids at that high school. Like probably. He had like not that this makes people sexually abuse people, but like he had like really patchy skin, like tan spots and like white spots. That doesn't mean he abuses kids, but anyways, that was just a detail in his hands. So they got kicked out of his class that previous day. I'm like, guys, I got this perfect idea. I read it in the Anarchist Cookbook because I'm so punk rock, guys. This is a great idea. This is awesome. What we do is we make Drano bombs, which I had never. I like my buddies had made them before, but I had never really done it. But if you guys want to know how to do it, It's super easy. You get like just a 20-ounce plastic Coke bottle. The rest of your Fireball container will work so well. It's 99 cents at Walmart. That inside does science. And then you throw that and the science explodes and sends chemicals squirting into the air. So this was my plan. I was like, guys, we'll do it. His motorboat is parked in front of his house just on the street. Just perfect. We can throw the things and throw them in. It'll be awesome. They're like, great. This is really cool. Can we up the ante on this at all? And I said, as a matter of fact, we can't. We had just gotten done drinking a whole 12-pack of Yoo-Hoo. And I said, I have got something for this empty box. So we all three shit in that box. One of the bombs, this is the bomb that I made it and I put it in my box full of shit, which you've got to make those close to where you're going to throw them. That's science is inside. So we have his house, his motorboat, the street, the neighbor's van, us, the neighbor's house, right? So we're camped out behind this red Dodge Caravan. We're making our bombs. I throw mine into the poop bucket first. I run gently loft into the back of the motorboat. One guy just throws his into the lawn, which was not the plan. Lawn. Just gave up. And then the other kid, he threw his into the boat. Great, awesome. Everything is working out perfectly. Except one explodes very quickly, which we didn't expect because we were like, yeah, we're awesome. All right, let's walk away from here. Casual. Boom! Jesus Christ, we have to go now. They run one way. I decide I'm gonna do this movie style. Like I'm hopping fences and shit. It's gonna be awesome. Running, 6-foot fence, top over the top, dog face, scared. Run further. They have gotten back to the truck already. Like they've gotten in and started it and are driving away without me. I'm just not in the vehicle. They're like coming towards me. I jump into the back and then we drive away. I'm like, oh, we crushed it. We crushed being punk rock. We're awesome. Let's get like shirts made or something. Tuesday rolls around. We did it on a Friday. Nothing happened on Monday at school, so in the clear. Tuesday rolled around. I've got a pocket full of muscle relaxers just in case because I'm wearing the same jeans I wore on Monday. And second period rolls around. It's fine. I was 15. It's the only drugs I knew how to get. It's fine. That's what you do. I was fucking 15. It was a medicine cabinet. My dad has neck pain sometimes. He plays the saxophone. Whatever. So anyways, Cody, the older kid in the group, gets called out of our class that we have together. Mrs. Given, Cody, his presence would like to be requested at the principal's office. Okay, weird dude with microphone. So he goes out, and I immediately know, like, everything's gone wrong. We fucked everything up. So I'm like, yeah, muscle relaxer time. Let's go. Woo! And then I melted. Like, I was like, oh, no, I shouldn't have done it. So right after class, it's like, buddy, high school, we're all 15. It's like, man, Cody got arrested. I think they're gonna come after you guys next. Sure. Sounds great, dude. Cody shows back up to school 6 hour, and he's like, guy, I'm not even supposed to talk to you. Like, I shouldn't talk to you. Legally, I can't talk to you. You're talking to me to say your things. They know everything. What? I didn't even tell them. They just told me what happened. And then Cody walks away, and I'm left with no information. My parents get a phone call the next day. Scott, we need you to bring your son Scott to the police station just for some questioning. Just leaving it real vague for my parents. Grew up super religious, and so my parents were like, really, Scott, is there something you'd like to tell us? Know that we'll forgive you and love you no matter what, but if you need to tell us something. Whatever, I'm punk rock. So I didn't tell him anything. I walked into the police station, and you can't be in the interrogation room when you're a minor without your parents. So my dad was there with me, just not talking and being sad. Just being my dad. And so the police officer asked me questions, but before he asked me any questions, they just tell me what happened exactly. I'm like, well, I guess we did it. You know already. And I was like, that's right. And he was like, well, would you like to know how we did it? I was like, gosh, I can't. Like, good job, police work. Sure. There was a gay couple who had been harassed in my small Missouri town who had cameras placed on their house. That gay couple also owned a red Dodge Caravan, which we were sitting right behind making bombs at. So we got charged with 5 felonies. Yep, it was great. We got kicked out of school. It was awesome. The 5 felonies were, and I know I'm on your side, some of these are bullshit. Some of them I'm on board with. Some of them make sense. Some of them bullshit. Making a bomb. That's a great felony. That's a solid felony. I'm on board with that felony. It's awesome. Knowing a bomb is being made and not telling anyone is a felony and is kind of bullshit. Like, I will never tell on anyone who makes a bomb. Ever. What? Why would I do that? That guy makes bombs. I'm not going to tell. Fuck you. I'm not going to tell on him. Using a bomb on something is also a felony. Sure. Sure. We got a property damage in excess of $3,000. That felt good as 15. That's a lot of money. And then we got biohazard for the poop. In which they told me if I didn't admit to what they already knew that I already did, that they were just gonna run poop analysis, like CSI style on us. The guy was a great guy. He didn't want to press charges. It was super fantastic. I was only locked up for a little over 24 hours. I only cried most of the time I was in jail.
This is my fucked up best friend, everyone. All right, Dan Sheehan, I'm gonna go sit down.
Yeah, I'm led to assume you have a fiance who loves you despite all of this.
Oh, God, so much. She's the best person ever.
Wow. Let's give it up for that and everything we just saw. Guys, give it up for Scott Kirker, everybody!
Well, guys, that is our episode for this month. I hope you enjoyed We Still Like Pranks on the We Still Like You podcast. I really appreciate you listening. And big thanks go out to our performers for today, Kyle Scanlon and Scott Kirtner, whose stories both showed us exactly what can happen when you don't plan a prank out thoroughly enough, or perhaps sometimes too thoroughly. If you want more information about the show, please check us out at westilllikeyou.com.
Sure. It sounds great, dude.
I really appreciate you listening, and shout out to all. What am I saying? Let's try it again. We Still Like You is produced by Danny Gallegos, Dan Sheehan, Tyler Snodgrass, and J. Michael Osborne, who is also our resident live artist. The podcast is produced by Jesse Patend, engineered by Jesse Patend and Sam Haas. Our theme song is Specific People by Jake Tobin. Big thanks to all the people who've housed our live shows at various undisclosed locations around Chicago, and to you, the listener, for being there. If you'd like to know more about where you can watch We Still Like You or submit to be on We Still Like You, please check out our website, which is westilllikeyou.com, and also you can find us on Facebook. We'll see you next month.
Next time on We Still Like You.
All right, so this story is this is going back 11 years. This happened 11 years ago. It was when I was 18, and I thought I ruined my penis for the rest of my whole life. I thought it was broken, and I thought I would never, ever use it again.
Guys, who's ready to celebrate some shame? Good.